Okay, I just won a strategic victory as the Union in Chickamauga, and I thought I'd make a quick video explaining how I did it. So basically, what you want to do is, I think the most important part is, what is it? These two guys. Yeah, these two guys, Palmer and Van Cleve. These are like the most important moves in the whole scenario. Especially Van Cleve, I think. You want to move him here and then here and him here and just like here. Keep them next to each other. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But you want to keep them far enough away. You want to keep them far enough here so that no Confederate unit can get into this hex or this hex. No Confederate unit should get into either of these two hexes. That's pretty much it. And then what you do is all these other guys, you rush them up this road. You try to get them past this choke point. That's it. That's the whole. Everything after that is pretty easy. So then what I did from there was I had 14th Corps in a line here. And I had, what was the other one? 21st Corps. No, well, 14th Corps was here. 20th Corps was here, blocking this whole strategic victory path for the Confederates. And 21st Corps, yeah, Van Cleve and Wood were here in the south, just kind of like slowing the Union down. And the other thing that I had done somehow, yeah, I think it was this guy. By Van Cleve being in this hex, he's extending a zone of influence onto this hex, which means any Confederate unit that tries to use this road to go north is going to flip. So I think Van Cleve is like the most important. These should be your first two moves as the Union. Move Van Cleve into this hex, and then move Van Cleve into this hex. Those should be your first two moves. And so then at that point, yeah, I just rushed everybody up. You can see here it's just 14th Corps and 20th Corps. Yeah, so 14th Corps rushed up and they were up here. 20th Corps was here. And then I sent my cavalry, one cavalry division, and the two reserve divisions here, this one and that one, around. He had put a Confederate division here to extend a zone of influence onto my strategic victory path. So I just surrounded the division. I sent the cavalry up first into the woods, and then I sent the reserve divisions into these two hexes. And I just waited a turn until I could place Rosecrans on his battle side close enough that I could attack with this unit that has the battle stars with the bonus from Rosecrans. And if he failed and had to retreat, that's fine. I just waited until the next turn and I attacked again with the same division. I didn't try to attack with the weaker reserve division because I didn't want to lose that benefit of having them surrounded. And I mean, unless I'm desperate, I wouldn't have attacked with all of the other divisions. The only mistake I made was I took the detachment off of Chattanooga, and the first time I ended the scenario, the Confederates won a strategic victory by a fluke because they had a path that went through the mountains here and then across here and then up this west side. So I just didn't know that was 50 hexes. I thought the 50 hexes would have to come through here. So it was an easy fix. The next time I loaded that save game, I placed the detachment back on Chattanooga, and there was no way they could stop it. The only other thing I would say is that the Confederates they didn't, but they could have sent units up this side to place units around here to try to extend a zone of influence onto these hexes, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here. Any zone of influence in these hexes or closer to the map, to this entry hex, will not count towards blocking the Union strategic victory path. Any zone of influence on this hex, these hexes, or further will count. So they can have a unit here, and it'll extend a zone of influence here, and that'll block the Union zone of the Union strategic victory path. So that means that as the Union, you really want to, against a human opponent, you'd want to put cavalry around here to try to prevent the Confederates from getting units over here that would, annoy you. I think the best unit for the Confederate to do that would be their cavalry. But in our game, or the one I was playing against the AI, they had the cavalry committed up here. And then I just put detachments like around here to be a roadblock for the enemy cavalry. So he couldn't pull them out and get them back over here if he wanted to. But it is cool. I remember how flustered I was when I first started playing this game. It is cool to finally feel like I understand how to play this well. So that's a very cool feeling. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. On the final turn, when you get your better battle commander, I put him over here to defend against any Confederate attacks. And I just had Rosencrantz in his maneuver mode around here so I could like place detachments and move. I ended up using the 3 divisions that I had over here. I just placed them in a line, like one guy here, one guy here, one guy here, to kind of block any Confederates from trying to sneak up and block my strategic victory path. But yeah, very cool scenario.